First step to solve any problem, whether it involves the opioid epidemic and heroin or any other problem, is for people to be focused and realize that we have a problem and participate in events such as this. Sheriff Buck and I have been working on this issue and this problem here locally in Carteret County and statewide in his capacity with the Sheriff's Association and my capacity with the District Attorneys Association and the Governor's Crime Commission for a number of years. And we've attended events like this before several years ago, and you maybe have 5 or 10 people here. And we realized a long time ago that this was a problem and a challenge that was going to continue to get worse, and it was not something that just law enforcement and the court system could address on its own. I've said many times that in order to appropriately fight and tackle this issue, it's going to involve not only law enforcement, the court system, but it's going to involve families, communities, churches, other faith-based organizations working together to tackle this problem. We know in law enforcement and as a prosecutor that there's no way to arrest and lock up everybody who's involved in these issues. We've realized that a long time ago. Sheriff Buck and I, for many years, have talked about prevention, about treatment, and tough enforcement for those repeat offenders and those who are selling drugs and traffickers, because most of the time to those folks, they've already had other opportunities. And we'll talk about it more in the question and answer, but what we started doing several years ago in my office, the prosecutor's office for Carteret, Craven, and Pamlico counties, is to try to work closely with users and first-time offenders to offer deferred prosecution programs for them to go get treatment. And if they successfully complete that treatment, they can actually walk out of court with the case dismissed. Our goal as prosecutors is not to arrest and prosecute and lock everybody up. Our goal is that for these folks, for their first contact with the criminal justice system, to hopefully be their last contact with the criminal justice system. And we realized this years ago. There are lots that can be said about this issue in terms of treatment and prevention, and there are other folks on the panel who can talk about that. But I'll talk a little more later about our efforts in the District Attorney's Office in terms of our deferred prosecution programs, probationary programs, and enforcement programs that we have in place now and that we look to expand in the future to try to help solve this issue.